You can be stronger than your excuses so that you can make the progress that you want, achieve the things that you want to achieve, and guide your life to go where you want it to go. Don't let your excuses win. Today, we're going to talk about how you can overcome them so that you can make progress.
This is the Enjoy Life podcast, here to help you choose your mindset, goals, and actions so that you can guide your life in the direction that you want it to go and enjoy it. It does take a little bit of work, some effort on your part, but that effort is worth it because this is your life and you can experience the benefits of the work that you do. And this podcast is here to help. Life doesn't magically turn out exactly how you want. It's up to you to make it happen. Now, you may not have chosen to be exactly where you're at right now in your current situation, but you will choose what you do about it. If you're ready to put forth a little bit of effort, take some small steps toward living the life that you want, then you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Hello, welcome to Enjoy Life. Glad that you're here and listening in, joining in on this podcast and this episode today. I hope you're doing well. And today we're going to be talking all about excuses, and that they don't have to beat you. Excuses don't have to win. You can overcome them. You can be stronger than your excuses because you know what? A lot of times it's the excuses that are holding us back. It's not necessarily the real life stuff. It's the things that go on in our head. There's one quote out there that says, there are two types of obstacles, the real and the imaginary. And the imaginary is the only one that's impossible to overcome. Yeah, because when we believe our excuses, we're allowing them to be stronger than us. And I don't want that for me. I definitely don't want that for you either. So let's talk about how you can be stronger than your excuses. Now, I got the idea for this episode because I just recorded I put out a little video on Instagram, and I was talking about being stronger than my excuses to get out there and go for a run the other day. I was like, man, I got to talk about this on the podcast. So if you want to see stuff like that, I'm sharing more and more of it on Instagram. You can just find me on Instagram. It's at Nick Mazie. Connect with me. Send me a DM or comment. Just say hi. That'd be great. Love to hear from you. But enough of the wait. Let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. See, excuses, they can be a powerful thing. They can be so powerful, and they can stop you from making the progress that you want so that you can achieve your goals and have the life that you want. The excuses are just, they're nasty. And what the most dangerous ones are really, in my opinion, are those reasonable ones. Those ones that, they kind of make a little sense. They seem legit. Those are the ones that can really throw you off track because they're powerful because we believe those reasonable excuses. The only thing is that your excuses do not have to be more powerful than you. Don't allow them to be more powerful. You can overcome them. Definitely. And in fact, that's I'm going to share with you today some simple things, some little tips that you can follow, try to see if they can help you to be able to be stronger than your excuses to overcome them. Because you are stronger. You just got to believe it. You just got to make it happen. All right, the first way, or the first little suggestion on how to be stronger than your excuses is to get small. Get small. Bigger challenges, they lead to those reasonable excuses. If you want to conquer a massive, massive goal, or you're trying to make a massive change, trying to do that all at once or looking at the really big thing, makes it more difficult. And then that's when a lot of the reasonable excuses kind of pop up. If you want to make $1 million by the end of the year and you don't have a job or anything right now. Okay. That's not impossible, probably. But there's a lot of excuses that could come up if you've never done anything like that before, and that's something really huge and a massive challenge. Then there's a lot of excuses that are going to pop up that are going to stop you from doing the absolute best that you can to be able to make it happen. There's a lot of excuses there, and they might be reasonable, which means they might stop you from taking any action at all. So one way you can get small is to not tackle everything at once. If you're able to get down to the next little step, the next little thing that you can do, commit to that small thing, and just do it. Take action. Knock it out. Or maybe you need to lose a lot of weight because that's a goal that you have for your health. Okay. If that's it, then don't try to conquer that big challenge all at once up front. No. Look at the small steps that you can take, the small adjustment, the small change, the small action, that small habit that you can start. Commit to that small thing, because that's a lot easier. Small steps are easier than large leaps. I say it all the time. They are. So knock out that small thing, and then you can make a little bit of progress. You can feel a little bit of good about it. You can get some of the benefits, enjoy that, and that can help you. You make some progress, get a little bit of momentum going, you start moving forward, and that next step you might take, it might be a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And before you know it, you're really making progress, and you got some real good momentum going. But you can start small, because those small steps are easier than those large leaps. So the first little suggestion is, if your excuses are pretty big and they're holding you back, get small. Get small. The next one I'm going to say is get simple. Get really simple. Because when you have a really complicated challenge, it becomes really difficult. And excuses can pop up all over the place just because it's complicated. When the more complex it is, the more things that we can come up with on why we can't do it, achieve it, make it happen, figure it out. Because it's easy to believe that you can't, or you don't have the skill, or you don't know what you need to do, especially when what you're trying to do is a little complicated. So if it's difficult, complex, break it down and try to do something really simple. Really simple. And this could be related to health a little bit. There's a million different diets out there nowadays. And maybe breaking down the exact perfect diet is a complicated thing. I really don't know. I try to stick to simple stuff for my diet, and it helps me. But I don't mean, if you're trying to address a specific health concern and you got to have a diet for it, try to make it as simple as you can. Same thing can be true for finances. Maybe some of your goals are related to finances and improving your financial situation. There's a lot of advice out there. There's a lot of stuff. So try to get as simple as you can, because otherwise, the more complex it is, you might not be taking any action at all. They found in this related to finances, one little study I heard said the more options for 401ks that companies gave, like after a certain point, virtually nobody was signing up. The number of people signing up for a 401k dropped dramatically the more options they gave people, because it just got too complicated. It was too tough. Making that decision became too tough, so people didn't do it. So how can you make whatever goal you're trying to achieve, how can you make it really simple, and then just do that simple thing? And then once you kind of make some progress and you're really in it and you're feeling good, you get some momentum going, well, all that time that you're making that progress and you're feeling good, you might be learning more about it. And so you might be able to tackle some more of the complicated stuff because you've learned so much more. Just don't let it being complicated stop you from making progress, especially when you can make some progress on some of the simple stuff. All right, so if those excuses are big and they're holding you back, you can get small, you can get simple, and the next one, the last one that we're talking about, is getting creative. Get creative. If there's something you're struggling to do, you can ask yourself if there's anything else you can do that would help. Sometimes we got to think of like creative alternatives so that you can make progress and so that you can go forward. This might be just a fresh approach, just a different way of doing something so that you can make some progress. If you're struggling with one kind of exercise, is there a different kind of exercise that's a little easier for you to do? If you're struggling with running, can you do something different? Are you struggling with lifting weights? Can you try going for a jog? I'm not I'm not offering health advice, or I'm not a doctor or dietitian or kinesthesiologist. I think that's what it is. But anywho, I'm not an expert on anything related to exercise, but I know some exercises for me are just really tough to get me to do. I'm not so concerned about a specific area of my health. I just want to be healthy and have energy. So sometimes I switch up my exercises just so that I'm getting some exercise, so that I'm being active. And that's a big thing for me, and it helps me overcome a lot of my excuses not to exercise, is to get a little creative in what I'm doing. And also, this is not exactly what this episode's about, but for me in exercise, I just got to start. The more I think about it, the bigger it gets. In fact, that should be one. I'll come back to that. I got to come back to that. Okay. But I'm going to finish talking about getting creative. If you have a goal, sometimes you got to get a little creative on when you pursue it. So, if you're working toward one of your goals and you're doing some work at night, like being on a computer, trying to create material, kind of like what I do for this podcast and website and stuff. But you find out that working at night's a little bit of a challenge because you might be exhausted. Well, then might try getting up a little early in the morning. In fact, this is one that I've gone back and forth on a couple times, and I'm probably going to end up switching again because I don't want my excuses to become stronger than me. So I have to get creative on when I pursue my goals, because otherwise those excuses start to get kind of powerful. They start to get pretty reasonable, and before you know it, I'm not taking action toward my goal. So you gotta get small in what you do. Get simple, get creative. Because you can be stronger than your excuses. You can overcome them. You don't have to let them win. And then what I kind of popped into my mind talking about the last one is the fourth one. I didn't know there was going to be 4, but now there's 4. Just get at it. Get at it. Whatever your goal you're trying to pursue, just go ahead and start. Get at it. Go after it. This is your life. You have the option to take action towards your goals so that you can make your life more how you want it to be. It's not going to be perfect. Never will be. That's okay. But a lot of times it can be better. But it can't be better if you don't go after it. So that's going to be it for today's episode. We're going to talk. If your excuses are big and you want to overcome them, you want to be stronger than them so that you can make progress towards your goals, then get small. Tackle those small steps. Get simple. Make those steps as simple as you possibly can. If you're still struggling a little bit, get creative on what you do, how you approach your goal, when you approach your goal. Get really creative and get after it. Because no matter what, you got to take the action. And when you get after it, a lot of times those excuses aren't really as powerful or as bad as we thought they were going to be. Not after you get after it. Once you get and you're making some progress, you're feeling pretty good. So get small, get simple, get creative, and get after it, because you can achieve your goals and make the progress that you want for your life. I believe that. I want that for you. And that's what this podcast is here for, and that's what I'm here for. Connect with me on Instagram if you want some of the encouraging, positive stuff I put out there. Also, I'd love to just hear from you on there. That'd be great. Send me a DM. It's at Nick Mazie. Thanks for listening. Can't wait to talk to you again next week. All right. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening. Keep taking steps towards your goals, because I do want you to achieve what you want. That's why this podcast is here. And a huge thank you to those of you that have already rated and reviewed this podcast. It's a big help. There's like 1 million podcasts out there these days, and I'm not exaggerating. And when you take a moment just to rate and review, or even share this podcast with somebody, it helps so many more people find it and get some value out of it. I really appreciate it. Please keep doing that. And if you want to take some small, simple steps to care for your well-being, then I got something for you. I created a short booklet. It's called Don't Forget You, Simple Steps to Care for Your Well-Being. You can find it on Amazon. But, you are your number one resource. You are the person that has to do the work to achieve your goals. If you want to achieve your goals and enjoy life, then you've got to care for your well-being. Knowing some very simple ways to do that can be a big help. So that's what I said. I got that booklet out there. It's on Amazon. It's Don't Forget You, Simple Steps to Care for Your Well-Being. You can search for it on Amazon, or you go to nickmazie.com/DFU. Don't Forget You. And it will lead you to Amazon where you can check it out.